Hi, grade 4. It's teacher Ellie here. Last meeting, we have discussed pages 41 to 46 of your textbook, and I asked you to answer page 44 and page 47 of that textbook as well. And the last meeting, in your workbook, I asked you to answer pages 26 and 27. So this video, we are going to answer the remaining pages of your workbook only in chapter 3. Okay, so that will be from page 28 up to 34 of your workbook. Okay, so I want you to ready to prepare your workbook right now and a pen and a pencil because we are going to answer together. And why are we going to answer together? Because I want you to have a better understanding of the lessons that you have learned and to basically refresh your minds from what you have learned here. Example, the properties of materials, elasticity, hardness, heat conductivity, electrical conductivity, and also how light passes through an object. And the last one is how are the uses of materials related to their properties. So I hope this video helps you, and let's begin. I am going to share my screen now. All right, let's start with number 1. Open your workbook here, guys. Workbook on page 28. So write down the correct answers. Grade 4, remember to always follow instruction. When you say write down, you write it in the box. When you say encircle, you encircle it. It's very important to follow instructions. So let's begin number 1. The body of a kettle should be able to A, conduct heat well, B, conduct electricity well, C, let all light through, and D, prevent light from passing through at all. You've already seen the answer. But why is the answer letter A? Remember, the body of a kettle should be able to conduct heat well because the use of a kettle is to heat up water. All right. So if it is a good heat conductor, the body of a kettle, then it can heat up the water quickly. Number 2, which of the following is a suitable material for the lenses of spectacles? Here, the lenses of the spectacles. A, glass, B, wood, C, rubber, D, metal. So the answer is letter A again. You have seen it already. Why? You need glass, which is an example of a transparent object. So you will be able to see what is on the other side of the glass. That's very important. Number 3, Ning prepares a setup as shown below. This is the setup. There's the battery, the electrical wires, material X to the appliance, which is the light bulb, and another electrical wire. So it would make a loop. So here's the thing. When she replaces material X with material Y, the bulb lights up. This shows that, so material Y is actually not shown in the setup below, above here. So in this setup, we can assume that this is about electrical conductivity, right? So let's read first the possible answers. A, material X is an electrical conductor, while material Y is an electrical insulator. B, material X is an electrical insulator, while material Y is an electrical conductor. C, material X is a heat conductor, while material Y is a heat insulator. And lastly, letter D, material X is a heat insulator, while material Y is a heat conductor. Like what I said, we can assume that this is about electrical conductivity. So heat conductor in C and D are both are already both wrong. So let's choose answers from letter A and B. So assuming that from this statement, when she replaced material X with material Y, the bulb lights up, meaning the light bulb works. And the electricity from the battery to the connecting wires to the material X reached the appliance, reached the bulb, that make it work, that make it power up, that make it light up. So we could assume that, okay, letter A, material X is an electrical conductor, while material Y is an electrical insulator. So if the one that replaced material Y is an electrical insulator, it would not light up, right? Because electrical insulators would not allow electricity to pass through. So the most possible answer here is letter B. Material X here is an electrical insulator, and it has been replaced with material Y, which is an electrical conductor. Okay, I hope you understand why it is the correct answer. Number 4, the photo below shows a pair of shoes. Which of the following explains why canvas and rubber are used to make the parts of the shoes? This is the canvas, and this is the rubber. Letter A, canvas is not elastic, while rubber is elastic. Letter B, canvas and rubber are both electrical insulators. Letter C, canvas can withstand wear and tear, while rubber allows us to have a good grip on the ground. And letter D, canvas and rubber are both heat insulators. So we're talking about what kind of properties of material in here. So we can also review how are the uses of materials related to their properties. Remember, okay, let's try to open your books to have a better understanding. We have to choose the suitable material to make an object, right? And here, from the choices below, we all know that canvas can withstand wear and tear, while rubber allows us to have a good grip on the ground. So the answer is letter C. Right? Remember that when we make objects, materials have different properties, which has a big effect on our use in our daily lives. So if you're trying to make an object or something like a product, you will think about its use. You will think about what material properties should this new product need, and what kind of material has that kind of property. Okay, so the best answer is canvas. The best and the correct answer is letter C. Number 5, Chan is in his room. When Chan looks out of the glass window, he can see the sun in the sky. This is because A, the sun absorbs light that passes through the glass. B, the glass reflects all the sunlight. C, the glass absorbs all the sunlight. And D, the glass allows sunlight to pass through it. The answer is letter D. Why? Okay, glass window is an example of a transparent object. Chan is able to see the sun in the sky through the glass because it is a transparent object. And transparent object allows light to pass through it. So you will be able to see the other side of the object, which is, in this case, the glass window. Number 6, arrange the materials below in increasing order of their ability to let light pass through them. So which one here allows light to pass through them the most? So first, I think is letter B, followed by letter C. This letter C, an example of a translucent object. So when light hits the object, light scatters all around and only allows some of light pass through. And for object A, it's an opaque object. The light will just basically be absorbed, or yes, that's a correct answer. The light will only be absorbed in this object. So the answer is letter D, from B, C, and A. Object B, object C, and object A. Number 7, look at the photo below. There is an arrow. This is the frosted glass pane. We cannot clearly see through a frosted glass pane because A, it scatters light in different directions. B, it reflects most of the light. C, it absorbs most of the light. Or D, it lets almost all light pass through it. So frosted glass pane is an example of a translucent object. So what does a translucent object do? So when light hits a translucent object, the light scatters in different directions. So the answer is letter A. Number 8, diamond is one of the hardest materials in the world. Which of the following is a property of diamond? A, it returns to its original shape easily after being stretched. B, it does not return to its original shape easily after being stretched. C, it can be scratched easily. Or D, it cannot be scratched easily. What is the property of hard materials? Hard materials cannot be scratched easily. The answer is letter D. Number 9. From the diagram, we can tell that material X, this is material X. So A, scatters light in different directions. B, reflects most of the light. C, absorbs most of the light. Or D, lets almost all light pass through it. From this diagram, we can already tell that the object is an opaque object. So it is not letter A, because letter A describes a translucent object, and letter B and C, you'll only choose between B or C. But from this picture, we can already see that light bounces off from the object. So the answer is letter B. It bounces off or reflects most of the light. Number 10. A lightning rod directs electricity from lightning to the ground. It should be made of, so we need here a good conducting material, a good conductor. So among these choices, the only good conductor here is aluminum. The rest are insulators. Nylon, wood, and plastic are insulator. So the correct and only answer is letter A, aluminum. Okay, we're heading towards the end. Number 11. Which of the following materials can be used to make a cup that keeps drinks warm? Okay, so we will be needing heat insulator here, insulators here. Definitely aluminum is not the answer. Letter B, wool, has a different use. I don't think wool, although it keeps us warm, but we're talking about here something about drink. And wool is also water absorbent, so it will just absorb all the all your drinks. So the best answer here is letter C and D, paper and styrofoam. Remember, when you take out food from restaurants or when you have food delivered in your homes, it is usually placed in paper or paper and styrofoam. Number 12, which of the following properties does copper have? A, it conducts heat well. B, it allows most light to pass through it. C, it conducts electricity well. And D, it is water absorbent. The answer is A and C. Copper is a good heat conductor and also a good heat electric conductor. Remember, it is an example of a metal. Number 13, Chan carries out an experiment as shown below. This is the experiment. 1, 2, two examples, but look at the difference. This one, the light bulb lights up. The other one, the light bulb doesn't light up. So what can we conclude from the result? So there is liquid A and liquid B. So we can say that liquid A is an electrical conductor and liquid B is an electrical insulator. Letter B, Chan removes electrodes. This rod's, I think this rod looking thing is what we call the electrodes. So it is removed from liquid B. It is taken out from the water, dries them up with a towel, and then he holds up 2 electrodes in the air. So the question is, will the bulb light up? Still no, because air is not an electric conductor. So you can conclude here that the bulb will not light up because that is only the question. Will the bulb light up? Yes or no? So no, the bulb will not light up. 14, Phi carries out an experiment. Give it up. As shown below, he uses wax to hold a thumbtack to one end of a rod. So the thumbtack is attached to the wax. No wax. Our candles are made of wax. So he places a Bunsen burner on the other end of the rod. Here is the Bunsen burner. He records the time taken for the thumbtack to fall off the rod. He carries out the experiment on rods of different materials. So Phi uses rods made of different materials. He used a copper rod, a glass rod, and aluminum rod. So what property of materials does this experiment test? You've already seen the answer. It's either heat conductivity test or electric conductivity. But in this diagram, in this experiment being shown here in this picture, he is using Bunsen burner. Yes, where there is fire and heat is released. So the experiment test is a heat conductivity test. Letter B of number 14. Which material above is the best conductor of heat? The best conductor of heat are metals. And here it is copper, because it only took 2 minutes. Remember, the copper rod, so from the Bunsen burner, the heat is being transferred to the copper rod. And when the copper rod is already heated, it slowly melts the wax. So it only took 2 minutes before the wax melted and the thumbtack fell off. Copper is the answer. Letter C of number 14. Let's explain your answer. So time taken for the thumbtack to fall off the rod is the shortest. Yes, it is the shortest time. Only 2 minutes compared to aluminum, 3 minutes, and glass, 10 minutes. Okay, we're heading towards the end. I said it a while ago, but now I think this is the last part of answering questions from chapter 3. Let's read. Mint carries out an experiment in a dark room. She turns on a torch or a flashlight and places it in front of a screen. Then she places a wooden block between the torch and the screen. Her observations are shown below. A, she replaces the wooden block with a glass container. She notices that no shadow is formed on the screen. What can we conclude from this experiment? So in this picture, there is a wooden block, but it was replaced with a glass container, glass. She notices that no shadow was formed. Why? So when light is unable to pass through an object, you can form a shadow. But when light is not able to pass through, it cannot penetrate to the object. When it can penetrate to the object, then there will be no shadow form. So that is the conclusion from this experiment. Right? Mint replaces the glass container with a frosted glass cup as shown below. She observes that the frosted glass cup casts a shadow on the screen. List 2 ways in which the shadow of the frosted glass looks different from the shadow of the wooden block. The shadow of the frosted glass has a different shape. Okay, this is the clue here, different shape as the shadow of the wooden block. So the shadow of the frosted glass is fainter than the shadow of the wooden block. I think it's what it means by faint is the shadow looks lighter. I think it is because of frosted glass cup. Have you seen one? I think it allows the light to pass through a little bit. It's like a translucent object. So the shadow is fainter on the screen. Okay, so that's it for, let me unshare, stop sharing right now. So that's it for our workbook. Remember, it is on pages 28 to 34 of your workbook. And I hope this video helps you a lot and guides you and refreshes your learning and knowledge about materials. Okay, so this is Teacher LA and I will see you next meeting. Goodbye, grade 4.